The capability and functioning of military jets are awe-inspiring for individuals of all ages. Military aviation has been an integral aspect of national security systems since humans first started employing planes for conflict. The sheer variety of military aircraft, from tiny stealth planes to massive transport planes for troops and supplies, always manages to pique the public's interest. Since humans first took to the skies, the military's need for aircraft has been the industry's primary impetus for innovation. The need for militaries to stay ahead of their primary rivals has pushed aviation technology forward at a rate never seen before. This has led to the creation of airplanes in a variety of forms, including some that defy logic by their very appearance. Let's have a look at the different kinds of planes used in the military. Transport planes. The primary function of military transport aircraft is to move aircraft, equipment, supplies, machinery, jeeps, artillery, and even soldiers from one location to another, or behind enemy lines. Loading and unloading palletized cargo is standard practice. There is no need for the planes to land in order to unload their cargo, because the goods can be dropped from the sky using parachutes. The aircraft known as aerial tankers are specifically designed to refuel other aircraft in midair. The Douglas C-47 Skytrain from World War II, the KC-135 Strato tanker, and the C-17 Globemaster III are all examples of transport aircraft. Military fighter planes. Aircraft have drastically altered the nature of battle, and many nations now place a premium on achieving air superiority. For this reason, a lot of time and energy has been invested into making these planes better. Military aircraft are mostly deployed to shoot down enemy jets while they're in the air. Although certain fighters may also launch strikes on the ground, most of these planes rely on offensive and defensive counter-air operations to accomplish their goals. Depending on the nature of the mission, these planes may be equipped with machine guns, rocket launchers, bombs, cannons, or guided missiles. Combatants of today can also engage the opponent from great distances, frequently before the latter even detects or sees them. The F-35 Lightning, the Su-27, and the Lockheed Martin F-22 Raptor are just a few of the most well-known examples of military fighter planes. Fighter planes, in contrast to other forms of combat aircraft, are more effective when they are highly maneuverable, fast, and compact. This kind of plane is definitely up a notch on the danger level. Attack helicopters. Helicopters outfitted with large caliber machine guns proved their worth in the Vietnam War, both in support of ground forces and in attacks against ground targets. As opposed to transport helicopters, attack helicopters typically only have two seats, one for the pilot and one for a gunner. As well as being effective in anti-tank warfare, air-to-air combat against enemy aircraft, missile assaults on ground structures, and supporting ground forces with machine guns, attack helicopters have also proven useful in several other roles. The Bell AH-1 Super Cobra, the American Boeing AH-64D Apache, and the Russian MiL Mi-24P Hind are three of the most well-known attack helicopters in the world. Check out our video on the top attack helicopters in the world to see some of the many other prominent attack helicopters. Bomber aircraft. Some of the earliest combat aircraft were bombers. When dropping bombs, early bombers frequently did so manually, one by one, and their targeting method was just eyeballing it. Is that a shocker? Or can you think of a better method? A bomber's primary function is to destroy land-based targets, such as bases or military outposts, but they can also be used to strike naval vessels. Bomber technology made significant strides during World War II. Targeting systems were more precise, planes were more sturdy, and payloads were higher. During this time, legendary bombers like the B-17 Flying Fortress, Heinkel HE-177, and Avro Lancaster were created. In this era, heavy, long-range bombers were routinely deployed. Bombers in the military are too slow and cumbersome to engage the adversary head-on. It's possible for them to have just one engine and a lone pilot, or multiple engines and a large crew. The Northrop Grumman B-2 Spirit is a great example of a combat bomber with stealth technology. This makes it hard for opposing radar to pick them up, letting them sneak into hostile territory unnoticed. Reconnaissance and surveillance planes. Intelligence gathering is a primary function of reconnaissance and surveillance aircraft. These aircraft can be customized or built from the ground up with the necessary cameras and sensors to carry out their function. Today, unmanned aerial vehicles, UAVs, and even satellites are used to do many of their once manual tasks. In order to accomplish this, they can use a wide range of radars and specific sensors. To perform their many roles, including as marine patrol, battlefield surveillance, artillery spotting, and airspace monitoring, these aircraft employ a wide range of specialized hardware and methods. Unmanned aerial vehicles aren't the only type of aircraft that may be used for reconnaissance. Adapted civil aircraft designs and tethered balloons can also be used. Electronic warfare airplanes. These planes take part in every facet of electronic warfare, including countering enemy radar and radio equipment. Typically, a pre-existing plane is adapted for use in this way to create the planes. Radar jamming is just one of the many deceptive techniques they use to cripple the enemy's communication capabilities. Early warning airplanes. Airborne early warning and control, AEWNC, systems are radars that can detect ships, ground vehicles, and aircraft and direct air and fighter strikes. Aerial or ground targets can be monitored, and they can even help out with air traffic control. Radars help them distinguish between hostile and friendly planes. Military aircraft such as the Lockheed EC-121 Morningstar, Very Gannett AEW.3, and Northrop Grumman E-2 Hawkeye are utilized for this purpose. Gunships. In the military, gunships refer to aircraft equipped with large aircraft weapons for the purpose of assaulting ground targets via airstrikes or providing close air support. When referring to a fixed-winged aircraft with large weapons deployed laterally for use against ground or sea targets, the term gunship is typically used in today's context. Instead of making strafing runs, these gunships are built to circle the target. Popular examples of attack aircraft include the Douglas AC-47 Spooky and the Lockheed AC-130. The AC-130, nicknamed the Angel of Death, is the close air support guardian angel of allies and has been known to be armed with sideways firing guns for use in ground attacks. We know that this wasn't the most in-depth review of military air vehicles, but if you are curious to begin diving into more of these kinds of contraptions, you should definitely make your way to watch our video about the 10 best attack helicopters. Hopefully we can get you a top list for each of these categories, so stay with us and we will see you in the next video.